We live, baby. Let's get it. All right, y'all. This is our first episode. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. This is gonna be the Clapp Back podcast. Wait for my partner Blaine to come in, and we'll get going.
I can't see you.
They're right there. Let's get it.
We double live.
Clapp Back podcast, y'all. Let's go. My name is Micah Cunningham. This is
Flight School, Blaine Newell right here.
Yes, sir. So we started this podcast. This is our first episode, and it's called Clapp Back. It stands for, it's an acronym for confidence, limitless, accountability, positivity, and peace. And, we're going to be talking about a wide array of things on these podcasts, but that is at the core. Those 5 core values are at the core of what we want to display to you guys. And just in any kind of way, just give different topics, different views, our point of view, tell you some things that helped out with us. And hopefully we can help you guys out, help ourselves out, and really just spread positive vibes. I think we really need to introduce ourselves, just give you kind of a little background on what we do, where we're at in life. I'll go ahead and start that off. So like I said, my name is Micah Cunningham, serial entrepreneur, learning life day by day. I run a roofing and construction company. I'm also the owner of Team Natural Fit, and we have an app that will be out soon. It's actually out now on, Apple, only Apple products right now. We'll have Android soon. But it's all about spreading positive vibes, getting around people that are like-minded, and also just pushing yourself to your maximum potential. I think life's about maximizing your potential. And I really say that, stress on that, because I learned a lot of things the hard way growing up. In high school, started quarterback 4 years from my high school, got scholarships, all that good stuff, but I actually lost my full ride scholarship just from, not maximizing my potential, just making dumb mistakes and learning the hard way, really. I had a lot of people in my life that were definitely trying to lead me in the right direction. I was just stubborn and kind of took it my own way. That took me right into college, where I still didn't learn. I didn't learn any lessons. So as far as in high school, but I got to college and, ended up flunking out my first semester, just really being a knucklehead and not taking care of the things that I needed to on a day-to-day basis. And I would say in college, which is where I met Blaine, is where I started to develop certain core values that I knew I wanted to use and lead my life with. And that's how we came up with the core values for this podcast. But after college, I ended up moving back home, kind of was lost in the sauce, didn't know what I wanted to do. Ended up getting with a construction company, becoming a salesman, and just really digging into what they had going on. And from there, I've just grown exponentially, I feel like, since college. And it's because I made the choice to be better as a person. I think anybody in life, if you have goals or certain expectations of yourself, you have to really look in the mirror. Are you doing the right things? Are you making sure that your goals line up with your actions? And once I started to make those changes, I started to see a lot of changes in my life. I was able to make my way up in the company that I was at for construction, and eventually branched off and started my own company, got a lot of confidence in the sales world, and just branched out. And that led me to, starting Team Natural Fit, creating an app, which is crazy that I'm even saying that, because that was always a dream of mine, to create an app and just really build a platform for people to come together, really work out, eat healthy, and take care of their bodies. Because if you're not taking care of your body, your mental, then what are you in it for, really? That's how I think. We all want to live as long as possible, so that starts with taking care of your body and your mind. And here we are now. We got a podcast, and we're just gonna rock and roll with it. So that's my little story.
So I'm Blaine, and just like Micah, unfortunately, I'm very hard-headed. I've had lots of people, try to take me and guide me and, show me the way. But unfortunately, I learned best through experience. So, through high school, got in a lot of trouble just misbehaving, whether it be distracting people in class, things of that nature. Everyone would keep telling me about this potential you have as a student. Then started playing sports, and again, didn't necessarily take anything too seriously. And everyone would talk about, oh, you have so much potential, so much potential. I'm like, yeah, that's cool. Then college is where I met Micah. Again, like they're like, oh, you have so much potential, so much potential. Really didn't take that advice and do anything with it. And like you said, when he moved back home, he got on with a insurance restoration company. One day he called, gave me a call. I was at my aunt's house. He was like, hey, do you care if I pull up with the Mack truck? And I'm thinking of being like, I'm like, if you can fit it, like, come through. Then he came over, asked me what I was doing. At the time, I was working for a moving company. It was decent enough money, but he was like, do you like what you do? Like, I do not at all. So then he was like, hey, don't know if it's going to be for you, but this is what we do. It's sales. You got to be hungry. Each day's a challenge. So I came on with him for about 4 years. How many?
Yeah, 4 years.
Yeah, so he really took me under his wing. We were in Maryland, out there by ourselves, knocking doors.
Trenches.
It was just us, literally. And we would both live in Virginia, drive up to Maryland, knock these neighborhoods. And honestly, it was a great experience. Be outdoors with my best friend, teaching me how to get on roofs, how to get things approved. And that's really where I started to tap in. And when he was talking about college, like his biggest mind shift, I noticed it immediately because he would be like, these are not losses, these are lessons. Yeah. And then once I got back with him, as him being my boss, he really kept those values and expanded on them and would feed me and give me knowledge each and every day. Whenever I get discouraged, he'd be like, you're just looking at it wrong. Just look at it this way. And then my sales started to increase, and that's why I've been rocking with him ever since, because it was all genuine. It was never selfish. If he ever told me anything, it was because he learned it the hard way, and I already knew that. So it made it easier for me to go ahead and accept that advice. And listen, these core values have been thought carefully, and they've benefited both of us. So we decided that it's best for us to go ahead and share it with the world or whoever wants to listen. And we're going to help you, see what you actually want to do with your life and see how there's a roadmap and it's actually achievable if you work hard enough.
Yeah, man. So let's let everybody know why we're doing this. Some people may see like, well, okay, Glenn, Micah, but why are you guys doing this? Why are we, starting a podcast? I know everybody has a podcast now. But I've actually always wanted to be like a broadcaster. It's something that it was like a dream of mine that I never told anybody about, which I have tons of dreams in my head, but that's besides the point. But, Blaine, why are we doing this?
So just a quick, easy reason, spread positive vibes. I mean, honestly, like, it's just good to help everyone be the best versions of themselves. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I mean, spreading positive, it's the energy. Everything in life is about energy, You're either going to have a negative outlook, positive outlook, half glass, empty, or the glass is half full. And it's always keeping that positive mindset no matter what's going on in life. And we want to help just instill that into as many people as we can, just thinking positively. Don't beat yourself up. And even though it's easy to do it, I still sometimes struggle with, thinking negative thoughts, but at the end of the day, I make sure that the positive thoughts overwhelm any of those negative thoughts. So just really bringing that positive energy to everything that we do and helping anybody that is in a hole, at any point in their life or just needs that extra, it's a little something of encouragement to keep going. And it's just about positive energy, really. Other than that, it's, help people in need of guidance. I was one of those guys back in college. I was really lost in the sauce. So I thought I was trapper of the year. I wanted to sell everything. It didn't matter what it was, illegal or legal. And I think that I needed some guidance at that time, which I was able to meet some good people in my life that were just, leading by example. Actually, one of them is Nehemiah. In college, I was so lost. One of the things he said to me was like, man, we got to take advantage of this opportunity. We need to do better for ourselves so we can change the community. And at the time, it didn't really hit me. I didn't really think of it like, I was like, yeah, whatever, man. I need to make money today. So, it's really about, helping people in need of guidance. And even if you don't need guidance, it's always good to have just that positive reinforcement. Another thing is for us to hold ourselves accountable. Even though we're starting a podcast, I think everybody, it doesn't even matter if we started a podcast, but we want to hold ourselves accountable because we want to go to the next level. I think life is about just taking wherever you're at, whatever circumstances you're in, and pushing to the next level and really looking in the mirror.
Yeah, so these are kind of like our affirmations, we've written them down, we both believe them, and now we got witnesses. So we're definitely got to hold ourselves accountable to each other and to make sure our followers understand that if we say this, we're actively trying to do it ourselves. We're just not sitting up here preaching and then cutting the camera off and living however willy-nilly. Like, these are things that we try to put in our everyday life.
Right.
And if we give you all advice, it's coming from the heart and it's coming from something that we're currently actively trying to work through or have worked through recently.
Yeah, man. So ultimately, we want to build a community of like-minded individuals. Those core values that we spoke on, is that something that you want to take on in your life, or even if it's just one or two of them, it's just building that community of people that will push each other to the next level. I think a lot of us have gotten away from talking to people, being open to different, constructive criticism. A lot of times people will take things just too personal. It doesn't need to be personal. It's coming from a good place, which if somebody's really trying to help you out, you gotta be open. You gotta hear it out, look yourself in the mirror, and that's what we're trying to do here. Build a community of people that can do that constantly, and then the cycle will continue. We can all grow, we can all better ourselves, and ultimately win. At the end of the day, I think everybody wants to win in life, and I've seen throughout my experiences that it takes a community. Like they say, it takes a village to raise a child. We're all children, we're all God's children. And so we're trying to build that community to get us to the next level. It doesn't have to be, I did this all on my own. And even myself, sometimes I don't know if I want to reach out, but I still reach out because it's those little things that other people can do for you that you may not be telling yourself. So building that community is big. And
for sure. And like with the community, it definitely took a village to raise me for sure. Easily, I was a handful. But we really want this to be a community. So if at the end of this podcast, there were some topics you thought we could have dove into more, or you just had suggestions about maybe something that you're going through and you just wanted us to shine some light on it, this truly is a community. We're the ones, that coming live to you, but we really want this to be interactive. If you have any suggestions as far as topics we didn't even discuss today, you think maybe we should, we want y'all to be a part of it, so please drop a comment, drop a message, anything like that. We want this to be a true sense of the word community.
Definitely. So with that, we'll dive right in to our first topic of our first episode. COVID is over, baby. I'm so happy. COVID is over. It's literally, I think these past 2 years have taken a lot out of everybody. It was like such a major shift in everything you did in life, and just everybody had certain opinions. And
yeah, for sure.
I think though, COVID brought on a lot of depression. At least for me it did. And just looking out on different social media platforms, it seemed like everybody kind of just came to themselves and weren't talking to people, weren't really reaching out. And I think life is all about, you need people in your life. If you're not talking to people, it is hard to go to the next level. It's hard to really understand, all right, what am I doing that I can be better at, or what am I doing that's really hurting me? So it's talking to people. That's why we're doing this right here. I need to talk to people. That for sure. And I think,
talk too much, so I like to talk to people.
No, man, but literally, I was depressed during COVID. I sincerely was depressed. I didn't know what to do. A lot of times, before COVID hit, I was hitting the gym consecutively, and I hate to make excuses, but it was crazy times. I was scared to hit people up. I was scared to say, hey, let's get together. And I think that brought on some depression into my life that I just wasn't ready for. And even still, I'm still struggling with getting out of that, which is a part of the reason why we're doing this here today as well. And going to continue to do it. How about you, Blaine? Like, what do you think about COVID and depression, talking to people?
So at first, I was the guy they had to tell put a mask on all the time because I was just living life going through it. And then how I really feel about it, man, is in the beginning, everyone was very scared. Like, we don't know what it is. So everyone's shutting in the house, watching movies with the family. There's only so many. Netflix has lots of movies. But after that first week, you got nothing.
Watch everything. That's right.
So then everyone gets in the new rhythm, like this is the new normal. And then now that it's, dwindling down, numbers are almost gone. Now people are complacent in the life that they set up during COVID, and that's their new norm.
Yeah.
So, like you said, people are like not scared. It's just this is my pattern now. This is my routine. Yeah. So it's hard. It's hard for anyone to break habits. So now everyone's kind of like climbing out the shell, going to the gym, going back to the bars. I've made it the whole time. I have to get a COVID shot now to go on a cruise, though. But hey, man. That's how I feel about it. I feel that at first everyone was panicking, worried, then they got themselves in their patterns, and now, some people are just going to continue that. Like, no one goes inside the restaurants anymore, at fast food restaurants, which I love now because now I just park at at Chick-fil-A with the long line, walk smooth in, get my sandwich, walk smooth out. So please keep doing y'all routine.
No, but literally, I was the person throughout COVID. I was like, I don't believe in it. Honestly, I just got to put it out there. I wasn't a COVID believer, even though, I know it was serious. I know we lost a lot of lives. Rest in peace to all those people. But it was so negative for me just going through that, just getting back to talking to people. It's like, I was scared to talk to people.
We were door knocked.
It's
like we had it.
We were in door-to-door sales. So, just talking to people is big in our lives, and I think in everybody's life. But also, just talking about depression and how to get out of that is expressing yourself. I think a lot of times when I was in like a depressed state, I was just really in my head, but I would never express it, and before COVID, I would quickly hop on, social media or talk to somebody. But for some reason, like I just got into this slump where I was like, man, I'm like scared to express myself for some reason. And I'm here to tell you that that's only gonna hold you back, because those thoughts are gonna constantly stay in your mind, and you don't need negative thoughts circling your head. Nobody needs it. So express yourself. If you're feeling some type of way or feeling some type of way towards somebody, let them know how you feel. Exactly. Let it out.
Like, don't hold that in.
Do not hold it in. It's like it's like a bad fart, man. you can't hold those in, man. That gas, it's just like in your brain. Like it's gonna continue to cycle
and you for real.
Consume you, literally. So express yourself. If you're feeling any type of way, reach out to the person you're feeling some type of way about, or if it's something in general, maybe you need to call somebody, talk to people. Reach out to people you're able to talk to, let them know how you feel, and you never know. It could lead to you figuring out what's wrong too. Exactly. You help each other out.
So with expressing yourself, I would have to agree with Micah. Like the COVID definitely brought on the negative thoughts, things of that nature. And then when I finally did interact with people, I was like, dang, they just get on my nerves because I'm so used to being by myself now. So I talk a lot, but when I do have quiet time, like I really love it. Yeah. So the negative thoughts, and like I said, they would consume, and dim down the, things I should be grateful for. So what I started to do is it comes with some of the books I've been reading, and I'll make sure to write them down and share them with you because I won't recall which each, piece of information I've got came from which book. So this one was talking about when you're being too negative on yourself, not actually making a plan and just sitting there harping on it. Mm-hmm. Just do a little self-audit right quick, write it down, and then it's done. So why we keep having these thoughts? Like your plan is here. These are the things you need to correct. We don't need to think about it anymore. We just need to actually implement this plan.
Yeah,
and let's go. Yes, sir. So expressing yourself is key. I'm a very expressive person. So if I'm mad, you'll know. If I'm happy, you'll know. If I'm sad, you'll know. But definitely staying by yourself makes it you're kind of on edge about how to express yourself with other people now because it's been so foreign to you that you're not sure. Like, am I going off too strong? Is this too crazy? Like, should I? So definitely go ahead and just express yourself, especially with your close friends and family, because they know the true nature of you and they always got your back.
Definitely. Another thing that could help with depression, working out, man. Like that's the basis of why I started Team Natural Fit is like what helped me get out of that hole, when I was in college and right before I moved back to Fredericksburg was working out. Like I needed something that would make me feel good, and working out did that for me. So I would strongly advise anybody who's just not knowing where they're at in life, just to start working on yourself, mentally and physically. And we talk about expressing yourself, talking to people. Sometimes it's reading a book, reading a book, getting knowledge, like Blaine was saying. But just to get back to what I was talking about with working out, I mean, it is our bodies are made up of muscles. So if you're not using your body and working those muscles out, it's gonna start to deteriorate. It's gonna affect your mental. It's gonna affect your confidence, the way you feel. So I really advise, strongly advise people that hey, get up and get moving. If you don't use it, you will lose it at the end of the day. But working out also releases endorphins. It'll make you feel good, naturally. And I encourage everybody to work out. If we all want to live, everybody wants to live as long as possible. So it only makes sense. It's really common sense to work out your body. You don't have to kill yourself 7 days a week, 3 hours in the gym a day, but sometimes as simple as, 30 minutes for 3 days a week, just get up and get moving, to have those thoughts that are being caught up in your head released in a positive way. It's like, all right, I feel good about myself. I want to continue to grow. So let's keep working out. Let's keep grinding. How's working out, done for you, Glenn?
Yeah, so I used to be fat, like a couple months ago. Had a Starbucks coffee cake. We're still working on that. Now it's just a muffin top. But I like working out simply for the endorphins that he was speaking about. I'm not trying to look shredded, anything of that nature. So working out definitely has helped me with my mental more so than anything, just because when the weights get too heavy, your thought process is, okay, it's too heavy, let's put it down, let's rest. Well, that's the easy time to work on your mental toughness and just push through it. So that way, when something mentally challenging comes up at work or with a family member or with a loved one, you already have the mental capacity to understand that this is something that we either need to push through or something that we need to sidestep and have a different conversation. So mental toughness goes hand in hand with working out for me. For sure. That's probably why I enjoy it more so than I used to in the past. Because in the past, it was just football players, we had to work out, we had to go to the gym. Right. Once I did that workout, I wasn't working out. But now working out for myself, definitely the mental toughness is the main reason I try to stay consistent and accountable with myself.
For sure. One thing I think that people do sometimes is they make this thing up in their head like, I don't have enough time to work out. And I can honestly say that there's never enough time in a day, it seems like. But when you time manage and you set certain priorities in your life, you will work out. Like some people have animals, they'll take their dog for a walk, but they won't work themselves out. And even though they're walking, that can count. But you really need to exert yourself. You need to get that heart rate pumping so you can have a good, healthy body, for the long run. So it's really just setting those priorities in your life to get a workout in, whether it's 10, 15 minutes, 30 minutes, to an hour. But I think everybody needs to work out. It's just a part of life. We have muscles. Our body's made up of muscles. If you're not using them, you will lose them, literally. And
like you're saying, you want to live a long time. Yeah. I don't want to be 80 and take my grandchildren to the beach. They're like, come over here. You're like, and like that, now you're done for the day. Your energy is spent. Right. If you just, like you say, work out a little bit, nothing crazy, do 10 push-ups before you watch a TV show, something of that nature. Then when my grandchildren call me over 80, I can hobble over there a little quicker.
Yeah. Common sense is the currency we use to buy our health. That's something I came up with. Me and my mom actually came up with a couple of years ago. And it's just something that I tell myself every day. It's like, all right, it makes sense. If I want to live till I'm 110, I need to move like I want to live till 110. I need to eat like I want to live till 110. And that takes me to our next thing with depression and COVID. I think COVID for me, like I started eating all these foods that I really don't eat, but it was because we weren't going to the store, quick to order something. Everything delivers now. So it was so easy. It's convenient.
Yeah.
It was crazy. But sometimes convenient is not good for you. You know, it's like it just makes you develop bad habits, and I definitely fell into that.
Makes you complacent.
Yeah, we're not here shaming anybody who eats out or or is overweight. It's okay because you have the ability to make that turnaround. You can change that whenever you decide, and we want to help you make that decision. So, eating healthy, eating what your body needs to survive. That's greens. That's putting water in your body. Don't drink a whole bunch of soda. Just being conscious of things that will help you out mentally and physically. And it's always about longevity. We all want to live as long as possible. So you got to put the right things in your body to get you to where you want to be.
This man knows exactly what he's talking about when it comes to eating healthy. I'm the fat ass here. He's the one that eats right all the time. One time he had green beans with peanut butter on a pan. I've never seen that in my life. I was like, I don't know what that's about. Took 2 bites. I had to fight him. I was like, no, this is my green bean plate. It was green beans and peanut butter.
But I mean,
oh my goodness.
I don't eat everything that's good. Like last night, me and my wife got Krispy Kreme donuts, and yes. that plays a little bit to the COVID deal I was saying, which everything is easily deliverable now. But it's like you got to have a balance too. It's like, all right, I knew that if I'm going to eat these Krispy Kreme donuts, I'm not eating any sweets for the next couple of days. But it's just prioritizing. It's knowing what you're putting into your body, what you need to put into your body to mentally and physically be the best you can be.
Yeah, no one's being food Nazis because by all means, if you eat correctly a majority of the time, when you go on a cruise or go on a family vacation, do this. You can indulge in whatever you like because you've been keeping yourself accountable and eating the proper foods and nutrition that your body needs. And what I could say is I was on the fast food kick heavy, and then there was literally during detox, like withdrawals. I need some salty fries. But then once I finally kicked off of like mainly eating healthy foods, like my mood and energy was definitely something I could really monitor and be like, wow, like when I eat healthy foods, I feel at a certain level, and when I eat McDonald's, I kind of feel sluggish and things of that nature. So
I recommend everybody, if you're kind of in that space where you're getting, I guess, out of control with what you're eating, start writing down what you're eating and look at it at the end of the day and ask yourself for each thing that you put in your body, how is that positively affecting my life long term? And then that'll help you kind of realize and be like, okay, I don't need to eat McDonald's and Burger King or whatever it is, fast food. It just helps you evaluate yourself. I think it's important for everybody to evaluate themselves, and especially when you're in like a depressed mode, it's like sometimes you don't need to hear from other people. You need to actually do it yourself and see things that you're doing wrong and correct it.
Yeah, and like he's saying, you can self-audit in every part of these core values. You can self-audit your confidence, limitless, accountability, positivity, and peace. So whenever you're in a depressed state, do a self-audit of whichever category you feel you're lacking in the most, and find the easiest things to change. Eventually, you're going to want to attack them all, but when you're not in the right mindset, find small, achievable goals. You see, just like you said, it's the little things that matter. So once you start changing the little things, pretty much be like a domino effect at the end of the day.
Exactly. Those little steps, man. Just imagine a stairway. It's like everybody's going to start at the bottom of the steps. You just take one step at a time. Boom, boom, then you get into the top, and then when sometimes in life, I went through this last year, literally, I would say last November to really last month, I had to go all the way back to the bottom of the stairs because I just stopped doing a lot of the things that I had developed over the years, and it was from being depressed, feeling sorry for myself, beating myself up. And now I'm back at that bottom stair, but I'm ready to climb again. It's like God put us on this earth, and you're gonna have peaks and valleys. So it's just knowing you got to be real with yourself. Like, okay, I'm in a valley, I need to get out of here. Or you're in a good spot. You're at the top of your game. Now it's okay. How do I take it further? But being depressed and COVID, I really think go hand in hand, unfortunately. I think it was for everybody. It was a major life change, and talking to people, expressing yourself, working out, eating healthy. I think will help, with those, mental feelings, or if you feel like you're in a hole, I would say start there and, see how, it affects you.
And the craziest part is I've never really connected the two. But even on TV and movies, when they show a depressed person, their eating habits are wild.
Yeah.
So when I changed my eating habit, it really like made sense. Like stuff, it just started clicking. Like okay, like I really should just. Burgers are fine, fast food's fine, but there's a time where that's absolutely necessary, and like it's the only option. So let me leave that for when that's the case, instead of just doing it all the time, because you're gonna have to hit that McDonald's one time on the way to a family event, or there's nothing else around. So we're not shaming anyone. We're just saying look at your choices that you're making and see which ones we can control more instead of
be more conscious of it.
Exactly.
It's just having a conscious mind. So COVID, depression, we're out of it. If you're depressed and you need help, want to talk, shoot us a DM. We'll be glad to talk to you guys and hopefully guide you down the right path. You may be able to help us out as well.
Of course.
I'm still struggling with some things. I don't know, Wayne, you struggling with some things?
Always. At least like Jay-Z said, 99 problems, but ain't one. So we always got some sort of issue.
There's always something. So just coming together. DM us, let us know. But just to get out of that subject, and one thing that'll help, I think, everybody out as well, is setting goals. Set some realistic goals for yourself, whether that's daily goals, weekly goals, monthly goals, yearly goals, and map out how you're going to accomplish those goals.
Vision boards are key.
Yeah, vision board. I mean, literally, vision board is what me and my roommate did back in 2013, I believe it was. I was working at Cracker Barrel in Harrisonburg, and he was working at a call center in Harrisonburg. And one day I just came home, I was like, Mike, we're making a vision board. I'm tired of living like this. And literally on my vision board, one of my things was in 5 years.
Was the Audi on there?
The Audi wasn't on there, but I did have I wanted to buy a dream car in 5 years. I wanted to make 6 figures in 5 years. And, with God's grace, I was able to accomplish those goals. But it started with that stair step. It's like writing them down and then knowing I'm starting right here at the bottom of the stairs, and then each step at a time, conquering those. So, I think setting goals is major key for anybody just trying to accomplish anything in life. You got to know what you're doing. You got to know where you're going, and you have to see it visually. If you don't speak it into existence,
you gotta manifest.
And you gotta manifest it, bro. Like literally, like it's crazy. We're in my garage now, and literally, I would tell people back when I was down, bad, broke, everything. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna buy a house. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that, and it's just I was able to manifest it. And now we're trying to do that again, just with JMS, with the Natty Fit app. It's just a continuous cycle of growth. What do you think about setting goals?
Just to piggyback off yours, like he did not say this like most people say this. He wasn't like, oh, I'm gonna have a Bugatti. Like he was like, no, like this is happening.
Yeah.
Like we no one knows what the future's gonna hold you. So he was just either like, this man is crazy or this man is dead confident. That was the only two things you could walk away from saying, because he looked you dead in your eyes and was like, not like the house. I already have it. Like I just gotta go get it now. So yeah. So setting goals for myself, I start big and then work my way small. So I want to have 3 houses, one in Florida, one on a lake, and then one in Virginia, because that's where my family is. Another house has to be a lake house. Don't really care where that's at. But for setting goals, what I do is, like I said, start big, then go small, because if you set your goals big and you fail, at least you'll be high, So I don't like to set little realistic goals, and then if you come underneath there, you're just regular or below average. So set goals that other people think that you cannot achieve, and then that in and of itself gives you the motivation to get it. Like, oh, y'all think I can't have that?
All right,
say less. So then back to the smaller goals. It really came from Mike, because I used to try to remember everything. He would tell me like 10 things I have to do. I'd be like, yeah, I did them all. And then he'd be like, what about this one? I'd be like, oh no, I'll go take care of it now. So he'd be like, just write it down. Just write it down on your phone. And I'll be like, no, I got it. Then remember all the next tasks successfully. So yeah, I got this. And then the next time, what about this person? Oh, I'll be right back. So writing down my daily task, it sounds simple enough, but for whatever reason, I had to learn the hard way and really had to mess up a couple of simple things that could have got me a lot of money that I had to go back second times for. So writing down the small little tasks I have to do every day helps set goals in many ways, because you knock out what you have to do, which then allows you time to come up with new goals, to work out, something of that nature. So time management's another one that comes hand in hand with setting goals, because setting the goal is awesome. You did it. But what are you doing each and every day to make that an achievable and obtainable goal?
How are you acting on it?
Exactly. So I would say, go crazy, go big. Like, what's something that you think you can't even do maybe? Set that as your big goal, and then work your way back and figure out, the closer you get to the bottom, what are things I could actually do today? What are the things I could do a month from now? What are the things from a year from now, 10 years from now? Big picture. So that's how I set goals. Everyone sets them differently.
Yeah.
But that's the way I go about it.
That's perfect, man. And another big thing is getting outside of your comfort zone.
That's where you grow. So
yeah, I mean, literally, I look at it like this: like, everybody is a tree, like a growing tree. And so you're either going to stunt your growth by not stretching and stretching yourself, like as your own branches, or you're going to stay stagnant. So it's like, really reach for some things that in your brain, like he was saying, they seem unachievable, but still put it on your list of whatever you want to do in life, because you never know. If you don't speak it, then you pretty much lost half the battle already. So it's like, just thinking of it is going to put you where you need to be at. Now you just have to act on it. You got to do the little things that are going to get you to that goal. And being realistic with yourself is another thing as well. When you're setting goals, you're being realistic with what you can do day to day, but be unrealistic with yourself as well, as far as where you want to be in life. It's like, ultimately, I want to have $1 billion company, whether that's JMS, Team Natural Fit, it can all actually be one, it doesn't matter to me, but that is my highest goal right now. And now I'm trying to figure out, okay, what can I do every day to get better and better? I mean, even with Team Natural Fit, like, I fell off a little bit, I wasn't posting, I wasn't doing some things, but it's being realistic with myself and knowing, like, okay, I need to go back to step one. And that's where we're at now. I was able to build a lot of things, but you gotta always be real with yourself and know that you have another opportunity. As long as you're breathing, you got another opportunity to change your life around, to get on track. So it starts with setting those goals, having the right mind state, and just conquering them day by day.
And confidence. Like, sometimes people are kind of worried, like, well, what will my family think if this is my actual career? Like, this will make me happy, but I don't know if I fail. I come to Thanksgiving dinner and they're like, I told you that wouldn't work. I flip that and use that as motivation. It affects everyone else differently, but kind of just don't worry about that, because this, at the end of the day, this is your life. So when your head hits the pillow at night, like, is this what you want to be doing with your time, energy, and effort?
It's outside noise. I mean, this actually wasn't on the list, but that's one of them. It's like, make sure you're around people that are speaking positivity into your life. If you have somebody in your family that's always got something negative to say, I would say you need to reevaluate if you even need to talk to that person anymore. Because for me, I would say, like, in high school, right after high school, I was around people that they weren't, speaking down, on me necessarily, but it was like what they were thinking was just negative thoughts. I would say, I want to do this, and everybody crack a joke or, kind of laugh at it. And, that's normal, but at some point when you take your life serious and you want to get to a certain place in life, you got to start to realize, all right, that's actually pretty negative, and it's going to affect you as well. So being aware of the people that are around you is big. Energy is big, man. No matter how they're kind of conveying it, even if it's like a side comment, you gotta start looking at stuff like that and knowing, okay, or check it at least, like,
sure, I'm big on that one.
Yeah, exactly. Just checking it, like, hey, man, I don't need to hear any of that. This is where I'm trying to be. This is where I'm trying to go.
If you don't have confidence in yourself, that's cool, but don't put that on me.
Yeah, exactly. So being aware of the people that are around you are big, man. The people around you either pick you up or they bring you down. And I think everybody should analyze that. And you don't have to cut people off for life or anything like that, but maybe some people in your life, the time you spend with them or the time you put into them could be minimized.
Exactly. It's all about just protecting your energy. So like you said, we're not telling you to shun them or tell them you can never speak to them again. Just if you know you're gonna have an interaction with them, you just already know what it is, and don't really let it bother you too much, and don't give too much of your energy and time to that person, honestly.
100%.
And then my biggest issue was like in high school and everything, and like when I got to the Fort Union Military Academy, like it was easy to find yes men, and like I like that, you know. I'm a guy, like I'm too cool. Everything I do is magical, and like everyone loves me. But then like you really gotta think, like, damn. So I don't even like everything I do. I don't like everything my best friend does. So like maybe they're not keeping it a whole buck with me. And then I switched up my friend group. Like you said, the people who were trying to help me, take me under my wing, but I didn't like the truth, so I ran away from it. I went back, and luckily they were still there for me. They were still like, hey man, like we get it. We weren't gonna chase after you, but like if you're ready now, like I'm gonna be critical of you. And if you want to level up, boom. And then I started getting my rank and things like that, and it all just started to fall into place. So my issue was yes men. Some people might be too fearful of what other people think, but like we're trying to tell you, if you get your family right, your circle right, like Big Sean said, my circle's small as the Cheerio. Like I don't need 1,000 friends. I have lots of acquaintances, but I have 4 to 5 people I go to when I really need to hear wisdom or criticism or self-evaluation that's literally going to be honest and upfront.
Yeah, man, you got to take advantage of those opportunities. You know, just to go back to when I was in high school, the biggest reason I lost my scholarships because I had no goals of college football, of what I wanted to do in college. And literally it was just like, it was crazy that, you know, I was good at football, you know, I was getting all these accolades, but I literally didn't set my goals for myself. A goal that I had was to get a football scholarship. That was like my top goal in high school. And once I got that, I kind of like lost sight of what I really wanted to do. And I just started doing everything else that came with, you know, being a successful football guy, you know. So that's why I say set goals so high that, you know, you can't even see them necessarily right then and there in your mind, but you need to have something to go after, because once you write it down, 9 times out of 10, you're going to accomplish it.
Oh, yeah.
You know, so I have personal experience of having an opportunity right in front of me and having it just taken away with the quickness. It was the worst feeling in the world, and I won't let that happen again. You know, I'm glad it happened to me, but, you know, that's ultimately too why I started Team Natural Fit. I have a bunch of reasons why I started Team Natural Fit, to be honest.
All good ones, though.
But yeah, they're all good ones, and one of them is not missing opportunity. So if we can help anybody, you know, by setting goals and making sure that they maximize their potential, you know, that's a win for us.
Yeah, because I've definitely let some opportunities slip through my fingers as well, just because, you know, unfortunately, I'm good at putting myself in the right situation at the right times and like being able to communicate with people. So a couple of them I just took for granted. And then, you know, when you stop doing the work that got you to where you are, the opportunities stop coming. So I definitely had a couple of times where I just had to, you know, get back out there and start setting goals and start getting my vision clear, because once the money starts coming in and you get complacent and you're not doing all the things that had the money coming in, and you spend money like the way I was spending money, when it stops, you go to a freak out mode. So definitely, if I could go back in time and tell myself, I would just, you know, tell myself, set goals like, cool, you're at where you think you want to be at, but trust me, there's better than this. And if you keep doing this, you're not going to have that.
That's spot on, man. That's spot on. So that's just touching on like the COVID depression, setting goals. But now we're going to shift a little bit. You know, what's going on in the world today? You know, I got a lot of different things going on, you know. The main one, I think, you know, for everybody who's been on all the media, is this war that's going on. You know, it's crazy. You know, I think this is the first time our generation is seeing just that whole, I hate to say it, but kind of like that Nazi Germany regime that was back in the day, but we're seeing it now, you know, with Russia. It's just like, it's sad to see, but I try to put myself in those people's shoes. It's like, man, like I couldn't imagine somebody just deciding to attack the United States. You know, it's like, I think they definitely need help. I wish there was more we could do, you know, but at the end of the day, all we can do really is help as much as we can. You know, it's like whether that's donating, whether that's reaching out to people, or serving. Because I know the United States is going over there to help out, so that's big. I appreciate everybody that's in the armed forces and helping out with that. But this war, man, it's like, I don't know. Some days I feel like,
and everyone has a camera too, so
yeah,
it's the first time we're seeing like
exactly live footage.
Yeah.
It's like, it's weird. It's like I was scrolling on Instagram. I'm just seeing bombs hit apartment complexes. I'm like, man, this is insane. We're in some new times right now. I think we all need to spread more positive energy, man. I think, especially over there in Ukraine, Russia, there's just they're not talking to each other. We were just talking about talking to people. One thing I think over there is just like there's always been this line, and
steel curtain is back.
Yeah, it's like the steel curtain. It's just like, no, we're doing it this way. We're doing it this way, and then they're never coming together to figure it out. And now we have war. It's like I hate that we've come so far. We've had all these wars, and we're still at it as as a people on this world. Why aren't we learning from the past? It's like we just keep repeating it. It's annoying, really.
The scariest part to me is, so I like to study lots of history, wars, and just weird stuff. So I've watched almost every single documentary there is on Chernobyl, which is a nuclear power plant that exploded. The reactor core melted. Everyone in the city had to evacuate. If they didn't, they died. Fish and like the wildlife there still are very scarce, barely even come back. Only grass has really started to grow there. The trees are still dead. If there are animals, they're definitely mutated. So he came in there and took over that power plant. Putin did. So like, is he planning on reconstructing it? It still, has levels of radioactivity. So instead of going to take over another nuclear power plant, he came to one of the world's biggest ones that is going to expose his troops to radiation. So, like, what is his plans with that? That is my biggest, wow.
I don't know, man. Putin's a crazy guy, it seems like. He seems like he has no sympathy, really. We need peace and love, man. I'm kind of over this whole war talk. Like, let's have more peace. Let's have more love. It's just coming together. I wish it was that simple, honestly, but I think if the world were to come together, I think America as one of the strongest countries in the world, the strongest, we can really show people that, hey, we can come together, and hopefully that'll reciprocate, over there. But I think it just starts with talking to people, talking to each other, and really trying to figure out what's at the root of this issue. I think a little bit too, Putin feels like, Ukraine is ours because it was part of the USSR, and he kind of wants it back, but it just doesn't work like that. You have people that have decided that they don't want to be a part of that,
and a part of NATO, and like this has already been signed and everything.
Yeah, man. So definitely praying for everybody over there in the Ukraine. If you know anybody that's being affected over there, let us know. We'll try to see if we can do anything, send letters, send some food, whatever we can to help out. I think that's just what's needed, just a lot of love and a lot of positive energy.
Yes, sir. Let me ask you this. This is going to be controversial.
All right.
Okay. So the president that was in office before this current one, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think Putin would have pulled any of this if he was still in office?
That's a tough question.
Because you already know how Trump is. If he doesn't like something, he's coming straight at you.
I think Putin would have still made the move.
Okay.
I think he still would have made the move, but for some reason, I do feel like there would have been some level of communication with the U.S. before this was done, because it seemed like Donald Trump had a relationship with Putin more than Biden did or does. But you never really know. Honestly, I think that's a tough one, man. That's tough.
The only reason I ask is because you know how he if he doesn't like something, he doesn't care if it's in-house or out-of-house. He's just like, this is what's going on, and I don't like this, and if you try me like that, he was straight with it.
That's true. I don't know, man. It's tough because it's like, for me, I feel like the U.S. has always gotten involved in matters outside of the country. Yeah. So I think that no matter what, whoever the president was, it still would have went down this way.
Okay.
It might have been, I think there just may have been more conversations where the U.S. could have known just because of that relationship that was developed. And not saying that that relationship was a good thing, but one thing I think Donald Trump did was, he talked to him. And I think, even though I think that every president does like a summit, but he somehow had a relationship with Putin, and it's probably because they were in cahoots together. But I don't really know at the end of the day. But I mean, what do you think? You think it would have stopped?
I don't know if it would have stopped, but I just feel like with him and the way that he spoke and the way that he's like, I don't really need the backing of the U.S. because I got my own money. So if they say no, like, I'm still at your neck. So I feel like there was more, like you said, they would probably just came at him a different way and like, oh, make sure that they know before this goes down because we don't want him to feel that type of way about this. So they definitely would have. I feel like there would be more fear of retaliation or like what would he do?
Oh, gotcha. Because Trump is unpredictable.
Yeah.
Okay. That makes sense. That's a possibility. I don't know. I'm definitely just praying for all the people over there.
For sure.
Wishing the best. And it's crazy because if we go to war, it's like, how's that going to look for us over here? We
get the gas already.
I mean, the gas, yeah, it's crazy. I think the war is definitely 100% causing these gas increases. Well, not 100%. I think some of it comes from the COVID inflation, a lot of money that was being doled out. And but war is like, why are we still doing old school war? It's like, I thought we were past that, honestly. It's like,
unfortunately, it's profitable too.
That's true. That is true. That's a whole nother level. It's like war brings on so much money that's why I think it probably would have happened no matter what, because it brings on so much money. There's all these different tech people, military guys that just make bukus of money off of conflict. I think that's something we've seen throughout history as well. So one day I think it'll change, for sure. But until we actually talk to each other and really communicate and try to understand each other, that's the biggest thing. We don't try to understand each other. It's like,
you just said that, but I like this, so now we're done.
Exactly, right there. It's like everybody, for some reason, it seems like it's like a little childish to me. It's like
the egos.
If I don't get my way, I'm bombing this city. Like, what? That's crazy to me.
No, literally.
But switching over, the war, definitely praying for all the people. We also got the mask mandate lifted. That was a major key, man. I like I said before, I was not with the mask. I did not like wearing a mask. I did not think it was doing much for me, just because it was like a piece of cloth, And also, it's like you couldn't see anybody's faces. I think one of the best feelings is seeing somebody else smile. It's like, even though it's so small, it's like if you don't see somebody smiling, you're automatically thinking that they're mad.
Or you see someone that's very attractive, and then they take the mask off, you're like, oh. What?
That's true, too. That's very true. The mask was covering up a lot of things, but I'm super thankful that we're out of that.
And the kids don't have to wear it on the buses no more or in school, so that's good.
That was a big thing for me, honestly. I was not about teaching my son, hey, you need to wear a mask. Because now there are some kids that they think that wearing a mask is a normal part of life, and I just don't agree with that. So I'm super thankful that they lifted the mask mandate.
And here's another thing, just like simple. So COVID, is germs, all that, right? So when we put this mask on, we're eliminating a lot of germs and exposures to our bodies. So when we take the mask off, our bodies are getting exposed to that and now are being able to fight that more easier because they've been exposed to small doses of it, whether it be like, simple colds. Like if you're around someone that has a cold and you get like the little sniffles, your body's gonna build immunity, this, other, third. But we're not really being exposed to much to have our antibodies, have things to defend.
Right, and build up an immune system.
Exactly.
So it's
not saying lick toilets or nothing, but just simply like being exposed to different air qualities in and of itself is not actually a bad thing whatsoever. Of course, don't go into bad air, but your body if it, like you said, if you don't use it, you lose it. So if your antibodies and things that normally defend your body aren't being exercised, then when you finally do get an actual dose of any real thing that could be harmful to your body, they're in dormant and have to wake up, and now they don't have anything to defend themselves with. This is the first foreign object they've been exposed to. So that's why I didn't like the mask. And I would just walk into the stores and get what I needed and leave. And 90% of the time, they would allow that.
Yeah. I was the same, honestly. But like, just speaking on the mask mandate, do you think that is something that will come back around ever?
I think so, unfortunately.
Yeah. I agree, because I think they're really kind of like, I hate to say it, but I think they're cooking up these different viruses. It's crazy. It's like COVID had so many levels of the same things, like these variants and all. I'm like, all right, at some point, we got to start analyzing, and I believe in science, but I also think that we need to look at science as they make money off of making, off of
if it was a cure,
a cure, a new variant. It's like, all right, it's not making sense in my head. I do think, it could come back because of that. It's like a lot of people made a lot of money off of these masks, off of the COVID shots and things like that. So it's unfortunate, but I don't think that it's good for people because of what you were talking about.
Yeah.
Like if you were, staying inside, your body, when you go back outside, some people stay inside all year for 2 years.
No, literally.
And when you go back outside, your body is, naturally going to get shocked. So you're more likely to be getting sick and things like that, and your body's not developing the proper immune systems to fight against it. So.
Yeah, man. And then the only other thing is, if you are immunocompromised, like 100% understand, get your vaccinations, wear your mask, do whatever you have to do. But as a young, able-bodied person, treat it like the flu shot. Like, if I want the flu shot, awesome. And if I don't, you're fucking dumb. Like, I get it. Like, let's just leave it like that. But when they're like giving out money and TVs to college students, just the way that it was rolled out seemed way too political for me to, like I said, I still haven't got it yet, but I'm about to go on this cruise and it's mandatory. So I made it through the whole time without it. So I have to get it just because I'm not going to stop having fun, So I'm going to get the shot. But long story short, it should be a decision. If you don't want to go around people who don't have masks on, I completely understand you. I don't know your life. I don't know. Maybe you're taking care of your 100-year-old grandma, and it would be better for you to be in a grocery store that has mask mandate. Awesome. I'm not calling you names, not feeling any indifference about you, but I just like for myself to be able to make a decision on if I should wear a mask or not. By all means, take my temperature, make me take a COVID test. I'm not against any of those things. Just when it comes to what I tell my children they have to wear to school and what I tell them that has to go in their body and things of that nature. I know you have to get shots to go to school. I understand all of that. It's just the way that the vaccine was laid out seemed too political for me to really be a part of it.
Yeah, I agree, man. I think the mask mandate brought a lot of separation. It was like you're either with the mask or you're not without the mask. You're either with the mask or without the mask. And it created just this negative energy where people were bickering back and forth. But why don't you have your mask on? Well, why do you have your mask on? It's like, it was so crazy. I think that was like all a part of the plan, really. It's like they wanted to separate people, And here we are with the mask mandate lifted, and it's like people are still like not sure. Some people who were wearing a mask or not
driving a car by themselves.
Yeah, it's like it doesn't. It's insane. It's kind of like they're trying to control our lives a little bit, and I just don't agree with that at all. This is America. We have our freedoms, and certain things. I think everybody has to, do what's best for them and their family. It's like we shouldn't have somebody telling us what we should do. And
the mandate in the law, I know are people are going to say they are the same. But if you look up the definition of a mandate in the law, they're not necessarily the same thing by any means.
Really?
No.
Really? So what is it? Let's look that up.
Yeah.
So we're looking up mandate.
What's the difference between a mandate versus
law? I didn't actually know that. In fact, mandates and laws are effectively the same thing. The only difference is how they are initiated. Mandates are created and enacted by an executive branch, such as a state governor, rather than through a lengthier legislative process that ends with the governor's signature new durable law. So basically, a mandate is something that they just can bypass all of these steps that we have, and now we're forced to do something. But everybody's entitled to their own opinions. I know some people are like, man, I think everybody should wear a mask, or people should still wear a mask. And then you got people that don't wear a mask and don't believe in it. So everybody just should respect everybody's opinion.
Yeah, you're entitled to feel how you feel. And if you have a talk about it, everyone would, oh, cool, I see why you don't want to wear a mask, but this is what I would. Yeah, just be understanding, because you don't really need to agree with someone to be understanding and compassionate about what they're talking about.
You can agree to disagree. I think that's something that a lot of people have gotten away from. It's like, oh, you think differently, I don't want to talk to you. It's like, no, it's okay. We can talk it out and work through this, and then we can come to a mutual agreement. It's like some people I know were saying, like, they may have, elderly people in their house or just different things. And if somebody were to explain that to me, I would put a mask on, for that situation, because I understand now. But you're not going to just say, Mike, put on the mask because I said so, and I'm going to put on the mask. It just doesn't work like that for me. Yeah. But everybody, again, entitled to their own opinion. We're thankful. I'm thankful for the mask mandate being lifted.
Easily for the kids, for the children, for real.
I feel like we're going to get back to our regular lives, that we had 2 years prior to COVID, So, we'll just take it one day at a time. But, man, did you see that my man Deshaun Watson got cleared all of his charges?
It's not surprising because he's a famous athlete, and I feel like that's the only reason that this case was even brought against him in the first place.
Yeah, man, it's honestly sick, for real, to me, to even see that they could slander somebody so bad to where he didn't play football for a whole year.
He lost the bag for his family.
On allegations, man.
So they're going to pay him back that money? Probably not.
They should.
I feel like, listen, it was acquitted, this, that, the third. Like, give me my.
I think every female or whoever, made these lies up about him, I think they should be prosecuted. Like, I think the NFL should be prosecuted for not letting him work, not letting him make money. That's insane to me. I'm so happy that he's, was cleared of all the charges, but to see somebody, so high, he was on pace, really, he was going to win an MVP of the league, I think, eventually, and still can, but like, they pretty much just stunted everything that he had going on for allegations. It's like, when are we gonna like grow up and be smart with stuff?
Innocent until proven guilty.
Like what happened to that? Like, there's no more innocent until proven guilty. It's like, oh, he did this, she did that, so let's take him to court first and then figure it out. No, it's like with the media that we have now, it's like as soon as somebody puts something out there, the media just got to take it all the way. And now this person may not get a job again, may not, be able to get the same level of status again because of it.
And unfortunately, the time period that we're in, like, everyone just distanced themselves, and it hurts the individual because everyone's worried about their image. I understand that, but like with the whole Kevin Hart thing that he got in trouble for, it was a stand-up joke, and he couldn't host the Oscars, and they had to apologize. Like, okay, that was a joke back in this era of time, and like everyone knew that already. Yeah. And then they asked him to host the Oscars, but they didn't want to be associated with that type of like slander, even though it wasn't a slander, it was a joke. It was a stand-up joke, and he wasn't even that degrading towards that community whatsoever. For sure. He just said, sounded like someone was shuffling cards, and he slapped it. Someone was like, "Cut it out!" Like, so everyone's supposed to distance themselves before they find out the facts because they don't want the dirt on them. Right. But I feel like that in of itself is showing that they don't really care about that's their cream crop. Like the athletes, if the NFL doesn't have athletes, they don't have a show to put on. No one's coming.
100%.
So most companies value their workers, or at least they should. Yeah. So what that's showing me is like they didn't have his back. They didn't bring him in the room, ask him what really happened, talk to his lawyers, be like, what does this case look like? All right, Deshaun, we're gonna be on your side on this. They're just like, nah, like.
Yeah. They literally let the media paint the picture. It's like they didn't even give him a chance to defend himself. And I'm glad he kind of pretty much kept quiet because he knew he didn't do anything wrong. And it's just wild. I'm not here to knock anybody who's ever been in, sexual misconduct situation, but it's like, all right, if you're gonna say somebody did something,
it better be true.
Yeah, please let it be true. But also, it's like give the justice system time to actually figure it out before like everybody just writes them off. There were so many people like, oh, I'm never gonna wear a Watson jersey to watch him play football. It's like y'all don't even know yet. Like what?
And a lot of people are gonna stay that. Well, some people are gonna come back this way, but some people, once they got it in their mind, like that's what it is.
That's true, man.
And that's why they feel like it's stained his reputation because now when the voting comes around for MVP, some of the voters are still gonna think about that scandal.
Dang, that's true. That's so true, man. It's like it's a stain on his career. You know, I think we've all seen it these past 5-6 years. You know, a lot of these allegations coming out, and you know, I feel sorry for all the victims that were truly assaulted and things like that. But I just wish that we could get away from letting the media just
money grabs is what it really is.
Yeah, money. Yeah, that's crazy. It's exactly what it is. Just like paint this whole picture that's not even been proven yet. It's like, man, at least let this person defend himself, and let's let the evidence show what it is, and not let these media companies, TMZ, whatever the company is, just put out these just negative energy. It's like it's crazy. We're moving towards like nothing but negative energy. It seems like in the media, it's like I scroll on Instagram, scroll on Facebook, and it's a lot of negative things that people are like just walking right into.
Unfortunately, it shouldn't even come to this. But like if you have any type of money, before you do any type of thing with your sexual partner for this time, get a non-disclosure sign first, because then if she came out, he could just sue her and be like, "What are you talking about? You signed this NDA." Like,
I think some people have gotten smart with that for sure.
Got to.
Yeah, I think it makes sense for certain celebrities and statuses of people, but like for the everyday person, like what are they supposed to do? When somebody accuses somebody, we see all these stories of people getting accused.
Oh yeah, like college athletes.
Yeah, there was a couple college athletes that got accused and were later
didn't
found
get drafted.
Not guilty. Didn't get drafted, things like that. It's like, how do we we just got to do better as a society. It's like we can't let words, without proof, dictate somebody's future. It's like somebody's life shouldn't just be put on halt because somebody said something. Let's make sure that it's facts.
Because we're not discrediting any, like you said, we're not discrediting anyone who has been in this situation and it's been true. We feel sad that ever happened, and we would love to, help you with the confidence, limitless, accountability, positivity, peace. We're speaking about strictly money grabbing. It was consensual, or in this case, it was a massage. So she could have clearly, if she didn't want to do anything, walked out the room. My man's laying in a vulnerable position, karate chop his throat. Like what? There's surveillance cameras there. Like, was this consensual? Like, what's going? Like, don't think about. Oh, that was Deshaun Watson. Yeah. Hey, you should sue him. You should get this bag real quick. Like, if that's the case, we have nowhere more sympathy. Any of that, you need to do better. That's what we say.
It really comes down to holding everybody accountable. Like they held Deshaun Watson accountable real quick, But it's like. Now it needs to switch. Like both sides need to be held accountable before we just dive into all this negative thoughts on somebody and thinking somebody's something else and they're not, or they're right. It's like, all right, let's do our due diligence and figure out what's going on.
That's what all we're asking, because if all the sacrifices and things that these people had to do to get to these levels, just for not calling them no one, but just for like a regular everyday Joe to come along and see a come up off of a failed legal system, like, and then this staying there. He doesn't have his tie to go pin, like he can't get that off. Like that's gonna be there.
That's true.
So we do not like that at all.
True. So wishing Deshaun Watson the best. Of course, anybody that's ever been through a situation, that is real, and they were hurt, they were affected mentally. We're definitely praying for you guys. And just again, we're not shaming anybody who has been through that situation. We don't want anybody to feel like they can't tell somebody, but we're just saying, like, as people, as media, people that are on media all the time, let's let the facts get shown first. Let's make sure that what's being said is equal to what happened.
So just trying to break the story first, clickbait and everything.
Clickbait, yeah, that's what it is right now. It's like a whole bunch of clickbait. I think that's what's driving social media right now. Like who has the most dirt on somebody? It's like you got to get out of that. But on to the next, man. The Olympics. I didn't really watch the Olympics. Really, it's like it wasn't the same vibe. There was nobody in the stands.
Yeah, so the only reason I watched some of it is because my mom thinks curling is hilarious. Like she doesn't understand how it's in the Olympics, but like the teachers don't like that's a very popular sport in like Sweden. In that area, they have parks dedicated to it where like regular people just go play.
Yeah.
So it's just not a big sport over here. So she thinks it's hilarious. But it's cool that Japan got to host it for like I can't remember they hosted it a while ago. So it's cool that they get to go back there for the Winter Olympics. A lot of stuff going on. The only thing I did watch was Kevin Hart on Peacock. He and Snoop Dogg get on there and talk about it and everything. So it's funny to watch them break it down and everything. So the U.S. was getting some medals. Here, check the medal count and see.
Yeah, let's see how we did.
The Winter Olympics, it's going to be different after that snowboarding guy, Shaun White. I think, once he retires, that's going to be.
So the Olympics were in Beijing.
Oh, it was in Beijing,
China.
Okay.
So China had the most golds at 18, followed by Ukraine at 11.
Oh wow!
And then Canada in third, and U.S. was fifth.
So we didn't do too hot.
No,
not bad, but
it's all right. I mean, of course, we always want to be first, but the big thing that I took away from the Olympics is like. The energy was off, man. It was like I feel like not having people in the stands affected some people, in a bad way. They're so used to being in front of these large crowds, putting on for people, and I think it took, kind of deflated some people as well. Not to make excuses for anybody, but like COVID had a lot to do with the way the Olympics will run this year. It's like and the fact that the mask mandate and all this stuff is
there's parties for it and everything.
Right after, like the mask mandate was lifted right after. It's just like, man, it's like it sucks that athletes had to go through that, but we're in different times these days. So hopefully the next Olympics will be able to allow large groups of people to come in and actually be a part of it. I think the Olympics is about bringing people together from all different nationalities. Of course, we see all these countries. It's like, all right, we need to get the people back involved. And I hope that we never go through that situation again where it's like, all right, we're excommunicating from everybody unless you have 10 shots, all this
booster
stuff. It's just wild, man. So the Olympics was different for me this year. I usually actually pay attention, but like I was watching the snowboarding event, it was just like dead silence. Like all these
announcer, the TV guy. That's it.
There's no energy, man. I'm big on energy. It's like I can't watch something if it's like if I'm not learning something or it's not hype, you know what I mean? Like the energy's not there, I can't watch it, So that's our topics for today. Hey, if you know something you want us to talk about, shoot us up to the DM, let us know. We're trying to reach and touch as many people as we can, touch on topics that maybe some other podcasts won't talk on or scared to talk about it. We're an open book here. Like we're gonna really dive into some of the things that changed our life, some of the negative things that affected our life, and positive, just so you can kind of relate. We're humans too. We make mistakes, but we have a small business shout out for the day. That's my guy Curtis Lee Cox Barbershop, Dice Barbershop. Man, he's doing amazing things out in Caroline, Virginia. He started his own shop, from the ground up. I think they've been in business for a little over a year now, and he's actually doing something really cool. With every other Tuesday, he's doing mental health talks. I think it's something that, we were just talking about depression. It's like nobody likes talking about it, and the fact that he's a barber, and everybody knows like barbershop talk. It's just like a talking environment. And a lot of times it's about random stuff, to be talking about something so serious like mental health. I think it's major, man, especially for men in the, just really men, I think, are looked at as, gotta be tough. You can't speak about this. You can't speak about that.
That's weakness.
That's weakness. It's like he's really highlighting on some major things, really trying to make a change out here. And I just got to commend him for that. So we wanted to give him a shout out. I know you've been to his shop, right?
Yeah, it's a dope shop. And he also has classes too, and where he can teach you how to cut. So definitely go follow him on Instagram. He's got gear. The hoodies are dope. Yeah. The aesthetics in the barbershop is crazy. He got Xboxes for you while you're waiting for your hair. So even when I did have to wait, I didn't even really notice it because I had to get off the game before the game finished. So I was kind of sad about that. But no, it's a beautiful barbershop. He does his thing over there. Got classes, got the talks. Yeah, so definitely hit him up and see what he's got going on.
He's doing his thing, man. Doing his thing. So we'll end the show with some examples of Clapp Back found on social media. Actually, before I get to that, if you know any small businesses out there, DM their information to us so we can give them a shout out. We just want to try to help out as many people as we can.
Get that exposure up and make sure, we talk to you guys about what they're doing in the community and make sure that, we participate, we do business with them and things of that nature. So if you have a business in your area that you think might be undervalued or not really appreciated for what they truly are, what they do to the community, it's much more than just simply owning a business. Like we talked about, he's giving back to the community in multiple ways with teaching people how to cut hair, the talks. So make sure when you pick these companies out that they do something to give back to the community. Like he also has a shoe drive for kids. So yes, he owns a business, but then boom, has a shoe drive for kids. So things of that example, we want to definitely shout out good members of the community and make sure that we get them some foot traffic.
Yeah, man. So, all right, we got our 5 core values. Confidence, we're just going to give examples of what we've been kind of seeing. I think for confidence, some people may not like this, but Antonio Brown really shows tons of confidence. I don't agree with what he did on the field, but I do like the way he just is, he's really in tune with himself. He's like, he knows he puts in the work. He knows he puts in the time. So he's a confident guy. I think he's a good representation of confidence. Sometimes he may overdo it, but, that comes with confidence too. Like if you're a really confident person, to some people, it may seem like you're overdoing it.
Yeah.
And that's just it was a good example for me to kind of look at. And I think for anybody, if you're trying to be great at something, you got to master your craft. And he's done that. To me, it's like he's one of the best wide receivers, if not the best wide receiver, because he has mastered his craft and he has that confidence.
And he landed a deal with Kanye too as the executive athletic apparel or something of that nature. Yeah. So that was huge. And then another one for confidence, I guess, like how Kanye is handling all this stuff you see how, so I wouldn't want to do that in the public eye. But he's very confident in himself that he's going to get Kim back. And then they're making jokes all about him all day on social media, but he's still right there. Like, I can take it. So that's definitely confidence for sure. I would deal with all that behind closed doors. That's just me. But unfortunately, he can't do that. So, yeah, he deleted his account, got it back, and started doing Kanye things, which, I'm glad that he's back. I'm glad that documentary drop. Have you seen any of that documentary?
See, it's crazy you said that because I was gonna say Limitless example is
okay.
Kanye.
Go ahead. So I'm looking for that.
That documentary, man. If anybody hasn't seen the Genius documentary
goodness.
on Kanye, you gotta check it out. It was really inspiring. It motivated me, like just watching each minute.
I went back to the gym after every episode. I was like, hey, chill out.
Literally, he spoke everything he's doing now into existence 20 years ago. And he, I think, is a perfect example of being limitless. It's like, don't limit yourself. You can always
shut the door on him. I didn't realize how hard it was.
He was walking in Rockefeller showing all these people his songs, and he's like, "Yo, I'm gonna be this. I'm gonna be."
Well, all right, make some beats.
Right. He's a mixture of like confidence and limitless. It's crazy, man. So I would say, Kanye is our limitless example for the week.
Easily.
Yeah. Accountability for me is a big shout out to the guy's name is Jaime or Jamie. I'm not sure which one he goes by, but he has a social media. It's Big Fit, and he's lost over 100 pounds in a year. He was like an offensive lineman, and now he's just on it. He's taking care of it. He's holding himself accountable. He also I think he has a program where you can sign up and get text messages and reminders from him and just little tips on how to hold yourself accountable. So a shout out to him, Big Fit. If you're on Instagram, it's BIGGFIT. Check him out. He's holding everybody accountable, holding himself accountable. Major shout out to you, man.
Yes, sir. And then I'll be a little selfish on this one and say, kind of piggybacking off that is like, So when I post stories and things of that nature, it's normally like fun or goofy stuff.
Mhm.
And the only reason I post me working out on my story, just like a little quick picture afterwards, is to hold myself accountable.
Mhm.
And like there's people who will hit me if I don't post one. They be like, "Hey, where's your sweaty pic today?" I was like, "Ah." So like that's the only reason I do that, is to hold myself accountable. And then if I'm lacking, like everyone will know because I didn't post my sweaty picture that day.
Yeah.
So it just try to use the tools that we have at our disposal, like social media. A lot of people can scroll and get lost on there, but honestly, it is a tool. You can use it to benefit you, or you can let it be a distraction. So
Yeah.
try to flip it and make it my accountability check for myself for working out.
100%. I love that. I love that. Positive vibes. You know, for me, I think a good example of spreading positive vibes would be Tom Brady.
Okay.
Like whenever they do interviews, like he's never coming from a negative mentality, like at all. Like he's always putting out positive vibes. And so just, you know, shout out to him. I know he's like the GOAT. Everybody calls him the GOAT, but
Yeah.
just another shout out. You know, he's a good example of positive vibes and just staying positive.
I'm gonna be selfish again on this one. I'm gonna pick you for this one
Oh,
because every day, you know, you go on there. Sometimes I might not be like, I'm the fat fuck out of the group, so my fault for cussing. But like, he'll post all this stuff and be like, "You want to lose belly fat? Like, boom, here it is. Like, oh damn, it's that simple." And then rise and grind, just like simple little things to make sure that he's spreading positivity. And then he has a flag outside. It says "Good Vibes Only." So like, what more? Like, he's a living, walking testament to positivity. And even I've never really seen him since college, honestly, been actually like angry. I'm sure you have been like in your own right, but like in social settings and how he handles things, making sure that if he does disagree in a certain situation, it's still left in a positive state.
Yeah, for sure. I appreciate that, man.
No problem, man.
So last one is peace. What's a good example of peace? I would have to say, example of peace. I got to give a shout out to my mentor, Tim Field. He is a great example of peace and like inner peace, really. It's like he's the one who kind of showed me that, hey, no matter what's going on, you can keep yourself level, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And have peaceful thoughts. And sometimes, you know, that's reading a book. Sometimes it's working out, but finding your peace, he really brought that on, and I just appreciate him for that. So Tim Field, shout out to you, man. Appreciate you.
So with this one, she doesn't post that much on Instagram or anything of that nature. But my aunt Kelly, she's the one who like really got me into yoga and stuff.
Okay.
And she does teach. If you're ever in the Northern Virginia area, she teaches yoga at Lifetime Fitness as well as personal sessions. So anytime I talk to her, she'll like let me talk, let me say the negative things, and then she'll just replace those negative things with positivity. And she was like, I understand that you feel this way, but like if you look at it this way and you just do a little bit of stretching and meditating and this, like it'll help rectify some of the reasons you feel this way and get to the root of the issue. So she's really good at taking like a situation that you think is just terrible and making sure that you do start to look towards the light, and she'll help, not push you in any ways, but kind of like give you a compass and show you how to work the compass. For saying, not be like, oh, do this. It's like, this is how this works. And like, here you go. But hey, you can do it. Yeah, so that's my piece, man.
Good deal. So we appreciate you guys. First episode is in the books. Clap Back. Hey, if you guys have any examples of what we just spoke on, confidence, limitless, accountability, positivity, and peace, shoot us a DM so we can shout them out. Reach out to us if you'd like to be on the show. We eventually want to get to the point where we're calling out to people, calling in, and just asking people questions that we're asking ourselves right here. We want to build that community of like-minded individuals and just coming together, really. So give us a shout. Let us know what you think. Thank you for watching.
All right. Peace out, Girl Scouts.
Oh! We got to get outside, man.